Hey guys, I'd like to welcome you to your training today with our banquet and events. So today we are going to focus on the art of place setting. It's really important when we host these formal events to make sure that the place settings are appropriate and that they have some class and style to them. And as the assistant manager of banquets and events, I will be at the majority of these events, making sure that everything goes well, and making sure that the place settings are right is actually a very important step. And actually, in a recent article from the Northeast Mississippi Daily Journal, gift shop owner Polly Reese said, "It seems to be a lost art, but there is a time and place to set a formal table, and it's important that you know where all of these different pieces of china and crystal go when you are setting this table." So we're going to focus on that. As new employees, it's really important that you get this down. We don't want to be having to fix every place setting the day of an event. We want to make sure that when it's set the night before, we come in the next day and it's ready to go. So during our presentation today, we're going to start with a couple napkin folds, as the napkins are going to be the first thing you put on a table after the linen in order to get your center down. Then we're going to go through the different types of silverware, where they're placed, and then we will finish up with any plates or glassware that will be put on the table immediately before serving. So we're going to start with a couple napkin folds. Now, these are going to depend which one you use on the type of event. I'm going to show you two really basic ones. One is just going to be the triangle fold. So you'll take your napkin like this. You're going to go corner to corner. And then with these two corners here, you're going to meet them right up the middle. You're going to want to just put the edges down, flip it over. You're going to take corner to corner again. You'll pick it up, fold it, and there you go. Now this corner is always going to face the edge of the table. And then the next one we will look at is going to be your typical pocket fold. This is used when you have menus, for any specific menus, limited menus for the table. So you're going to take it flat. You're going to fold a little over halfway up, and then bring the seam down and fold once, and fold one more time. You're going to flip it over. Now really just push down to try to create a seam. You're going to take the top, you're going to fold it down once. You're going to fold the sides over about halfway in on both of them. Flip it over one more time. And as you can see, we've created a little pocket in order to put the menu in. Besides the menu, you can also put the place settings in. Today, though, we won't be using this one. We'll be using the typical triangle fold, so that you can see where the silverware needs to be placed. So the most important thing is to check your silverware and make sure that it's not tarnished. As you can see, these are the same forks, however this will be more tarnished. It has that kind of golden look to it. You don't want that. If you do see that it's tarnished, you can just put it on the side. We won't be using that. What we will be using today will be a salad knife. We have a steak knife or a dinner knife. We have a salad fork and dinner fork. And then we have just a normal spoon, a dessert fork, and a butter knife. So the first thing is that all your place settings should fit in between the width of the chair. That's really important. It should go no farther than that. It just is going to ensure that there's enough room on the tables. So you take your napkin, you put it about a normal fingernail, away from the edge of the table, right in the middle. Steak knife's going to go first. Same, just about a fingernail away. And right up next to the napkin. You'll have about half an inch in between, and you'll do your salad knife, and then your spoon. This is on the right-hand side. On the left, you will have your dinner fork, which will be placed about an entire thumb length from the table, or lined up with the knives on the other side. And then the salad fork will be that same fingernail from the bottom. On the top then, you will have your dessert fork. You're going to place it as if they're using their left hand to eat dessert. So it's facing towards the right, or like it's next to the other forks. You drive it up and over, and that's where it'll lay. Finally, we're going to have a B&B plate, which is used for any shareable items on the table that we begin with. This normally will be with bread, croissants, anything like that. So this is going to be about 3 inches from the forks. And then you have your butter knife, which is going to face to the left. Or if it was by the other knives, as if you're driving it up and over. And to be placed on the top, about 75% of the plate. And it will finish with a water glass, which is in line with the B&B plate, but instead of above the forks, it is right above the knives. So it's really important that every placing looks the exact same. According to Martha Stewart in her Living magazine, she states that the way a table is set contributes to the ambience of a meal as much as the food and wine. So just like we eat with our eyes first, the first thing we see when we come into the events is going to be the place settings, the centerpieces. We just really want to make sure that they're perfect. This is something I will be extremely strict on. I will be looking at each place setting before events several hours before, and we will keep going through them until they are all perfect and in sync. And besides that, the napkins are extremely important, as the art of napkin folding is something fun and useful for every day. Fold napkins can both serve as a practical purpose, such as these pocket folds, which I can show you very quickly. For this, you would just take the exact same layout and put this over right in there. And it would sit in the same spot. And they offer decorative flair as well. This is also stated by Martha Stewart in her Living magazine. So these are just 2 basic ways that we will set tables during events. There will be specific instances where there will be different setting requirements. Last week, if you remember, we had our wine dinner, which included 6 different wine glasses and 5 forks, 3 knives, and so on and so forth. But these are something that are per event, and we will go over those at that time. And of course, if there's any questions for those events, we'll speak about them then. In the meantime, I would like to open up for any questions you may have. We can go over more napkin folds if you'd like, but just be aware that I am available here for any questions. I would rather you ask me about the place settings before not knowing, doing it wrong, and ultimately having to redo everything because you didn't ask me first.